Alright, how you guys doing today? We are back with our continued coverage of the NCPL series that I had going on. This is the next round. I believe this is round, what is this, 4? Since we started. It feels like 3, but it's actually 4, because once again I forgot to record round 1. This is against Buffalo already? Yeah, I think this is against Buffalo, so this is going to be my first run-in with them. They had a very large number of players in the bracket, and I was honestly kind of surprised I didn't play one sooner. So, looking at how quickly other schools were getting wiped out, I knew that these guys were pretty good. I just didn't know what to expect. Given the fact that I had, this team going on, if they were going to be doing something harder than that, then it was something to be, kind of aware of. But this team, when I tried it out on Showdown, didn't really have too much difficulties outside of, when there was fast electric types. But I also don't know why I let the video run this much. I'm just going to try to run the time just by talking. Why not? I haven't changed anything up with the team since, but I can tell you right now from the time I'm recording this and the time I had the match to going into the final game, there are a couple of tweaks I have noticed between then and now that I definitely do want to make. Reasons I will discuss when those videos happen, I guess. So, as you can see, he doesn't have a fast electric type. Not only that, he has no electric immunity by means of ability or typing. I don't think he really has an electric weakness, or not weakness, excuse me, resistance. If anything, Manectric's gonna have a field day, and I didn't recognize that in, I think, one of the games after this, but this one's gonna be a pretty nice party. So, if anything, he's going to lead off with this Rotom Wash, and I decided I'm going to lead off with my Tornadus. Given Buffalo's reputation, I did not know whether or not he was going to want to go for the Volt Switch on me, predicting my Manectric to not come in, or to go for the Hydro Pump, predicting it to come in. And I thought, you know what, okay, I'll try to go for some middle ground, and I think he actually ended up going for the Volt Switch, which really, really, really surprised me. I could have gotten aggressive, very aggressive there on turn 1, and just won from there. So it kind of surprised me that he did go for that, knowing that I had a Lightning Rod Manectric on my team. Well, he didn't know it was Lightning Rod, but what are you going to run on it? You're going to run Static or Plus? I think it's a hidden ability. That's dumb. Don't do that. So he brings in Charizard. I'm sorry, his name is Joseph, and his Charizard's name is Joseph, so every time he sends his damn thing out, it says Joseph sends out Joseph, and I just lose my shit every time. This is a really obvious play to me right here. I don't know why. I knew he was not going to go for the Flare Blitz, because that's a really, really basic play, and it's really early in the game. You have room for error, except for when your Charizard X gets paralyzed, because that's probably the biggest threat on his team that I find that I would have a lot of trouble with. And now that I have it paralyzed and he doesn't have any apparent Heal Bellers or Aromatherapy users, that's it. I can safely do whatever I want to from here. We are on a pretty smooth course to victory, given the fact that this thing cannot Flare Blitz, KO Politoed, or anything like that. It's not going to DD, well, if it does want to DD up, it'll get the attack boost that'll count, and I got burned off with the Flare Blitz. Can you believe that? That's dumb. What my main point here is, it can get to +6 on the DDs, and I think it still gets outsped by Keldeo. Maybe at like +5 it starts to get there, but at +6 I'm pretty sure Tornadus and Manectric still outspeed it. Not that I'm gonna give him 6 turns to do that shit though. So that thing's basically dead man walking. So he's going to switch out just because, he can. It turns out his Rotom is Citrus Berry, which I don't really see all that often. I will usually see either leftovers, some kind of choice item, or Resto Chesto. Citrus Berry is a new experience for me, at least. He's probably still got Pain Split and stuff, but I guess it's a little last ditch for when you don't have multiple leftovers, so that's fine. I am not going to go into my Manectric on this one because it's still a mildly obvious play at this point, and maybe he got it in his head. Ferrothorn is still, Fooball is still a very safe switch into Rotom Wash. The worst thing he's going to do is, go for a Will-O-Wisp here or another Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump does a lot because it's boosted in the rain. I don't think I was purely specially defensive at the time that I had Fooball. But he goes back into his Charizard. I think I ended up going for my Rocks, because why not? We'll pressure out the Starmie into getting those spun away if he wants to keep his Charizard around. Or the thing I will reveal right now is that his Gengar is sashed, and he actually tries to get the Rocks off the field very quickly for that reason. Right here, he desperately wants me to switch, expecting him to do something completely different. But, you know, the fact of the matter is, like I said, these are really basic plays. I don't give a shit about what Charizard has to do to Ferrothorn. I got my rocks up. As far as I'm concerned, anything beyond this is a bonus on top of football season. So, I get my Leech Seed off. I don't remember if I'm running Protect on this set anymore, because I did tweak it slightly, because T-Wave is nice, but I think I want to run T-Wave and a attacking move. But I'm going to go into Kabutops, and it turns out he actually gets fully paralyzed. Not that I was really expecting anything other than a Flare Blitz right there, to be honest. I don't know whether or not I could have taken a +1 Dragon Claw, but I'm actually just going to knock him out with the Stone Edge. So we didn't really see a lot of use out of Kabutops, but I'm really hoping going forward that Kabutops will be a really valuable addition to this team. It's been doing great things for me lately, and I think there was one round where I did swap him out just to try something else out, and it turns out I like Kabutops better, but, you know, we'll stick around. So Fake Out is basically just to stall out a turn of rain, which is actually pretty important, because now I'm slower than him. If he has Mach Punch, which I do not know whether or not he does at this time, he will outpace my Aqua Jet and do some pretty considerable damage to me. So I'm going to go out into Politoed both to get the rain going, and I really don't think he's going to go for Close Combat. If he has Mach Punch, he'll reveal it right now, or he'll switch, just because he does not want to risk that on his Infernape, you know, me actually having Aqua Jet. But Politoed actually lives the turn, and I'm just going to go ahead and go out into Tornadus, because I really don't know what the worst thing he can do here is. He reveals his third move, which is Close Combat, and that's fine by me. That does like a pretty solid 30%. I can still drop 100% accurate Hurricanes from here, and that's going to be the game plan. I really don't see a lot of resistances outside of Rotom Wash and Skarmory. But I killed off the Citrus Berry on the Rotom there, and given the fact that it's not Choice Scarf because it had a Citrus Berry, I'm just going to be able to knock it out straight. The Confusion there's a nice touch. I really don't think it mattered at all. In fact, it doesn't, because I'm pretty sure it dies to Burn right now. So, whatever. I think Skarm comes in pretty safely for free right now, though. The thing I did not know about its item is that I believe it is Rocky Helmet, which is why I decided to U-turn here. And I learned in this turn, actually, that that's probably a thing I should not be doing, because the amount of damage I did to him compared to the recoil that I take from Rocky Helmet and Life Orb, no, not a good trade-off. Gonna be hard switching on this thing for the rest of the series, and Skarms with Rocky Helmets have been pretty popular things I've been seeing lately, but I do see an opening where I can definitely bring in my Manectric, because I don't know what he can do to touch me. He probably could have Whirlwinded me out, expecting me to either U-turn or switch out, but I'm in. I've got Thunders. He's got no resistances to them anymore. I think the only thing he had close to it was his Mega Charizard, but that's gone. So we're just gonna wrap up game one with a couple of these. So I've still got the rain up for a couple of turns as well. Even if it wears out, I do a Volt Switch to Volt Switch out into Politoed, let Politoed die, and come back in. So Infernape's not really going to be doing a lot here either, especially because he's Air Balloon and not Life Orb. The damage output is not going to be enough for a Fake Out and a Mach Punch to do anything even close to lethal on me. So Fake Out and a Mach Punch, as you can see, are going to do probably around 40-45% combined, but Infernape, although this isn't resisted, is not going to be able to take it, especially because that was a crit. So that was a nice touch. What does he have left? I think he has Starmie? Oh, he's got Gengar, so he wasn't able to bring in Starmie in time to Rapid Spin, which is why this Thunder is actually just going to go ahead and knock it out clean after Rock's damage. I think he maybe had a small chance to live it just because it's Natural Bulk. Natural Defensive Bulk is not the worst thing under the sun. And look at that. Rain wears out just in time for me to Volt Switch Starmie and actually just be able to knock him out. So that's actually going to seal up game one. So a quick victory from Manectric and friends. Thanks to a timely little play by Fooball, T-waving a Charizard on a kind of scary bluff play, but I knew it would have paid off big time if I went for it. So that wraps up game one for us. Stay tuned for tomorrow's game, or whenever the next game is. I don't know what the uploading schedule on these things is going to be. The next one, sure. There you go. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, as usual, go ahead and drop a like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. You know how that goes, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.